Here's to feeling good all the time.
My name is George. I'm unemployed and I live with my parents.
Hey, you know what would make a great coffee table book? A coffee table book about coffee tables.
I don't have a square to spare. I can't spare a square.
But I don't want to be a pirate!
Hello, and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinnie.
My name's Matt.
Got a question for you, Matt. Are my nostrils getting any bigger?
Is this a bit?
Hey, I don't do bits. I'm a prop comic.
It's looking at you doing that. Was that a Ted Knight?
A little.
Okay.
A little tribute to the man himself.
Right out the gate, figured we could go over some spin-off ideas that we skipped last week. This all came from a Jason Alexander Nerdist podcast where he mentioned that his ideas for Seinfeld spin-offs were the Costanzas and Seinfelds down in Florida, and then there was the Jackie Childs law firm premise, which we both loved. And
from that podcast, we can't seem to get off the spin-off idea, so we keep talking about it, and people keep contributing more ideas, so we're going to give you some more.
Yeah, here we go. We've got two from Paul Elliott. He was just saying how much he loved the Costanza Seinfeld spinoff idea, the parents down in Florida. He would have called it Del Boca Vista. We didn't really talk about that idea from Jason, what you would have called the show.
I like that, and then I also like making fun of the blooper where Jerry Stiller flubs the line, Del Visto Becco. Would have been fun too, but that would have been a very inside joke.
Or just Del Bot.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Some kind of spinoff. Another idea that Paul Elliott had, he had an idea for a spinoff starring Mickey and Newman, and he would call it Mickey and the No Longer Fat Man.
Okay.
And I assume that's a take on Jake and the Fat Man?
Most people don't know the rival show to Seinfeld at the time.
That's right. Well, it was hard to get out of that big fat shadow of the fat man.
Shadow?
But Mickey's out on his ass doing that paralegal crap after missing out on the role of a lifetime in Game of Thrones. That other little bastard. While working for Jackie Childs, he one day encounters Newman while he delivers mail to Jackie's office. Tired of sleeping in the office at night and knowing Newman through Kramer, Mickey moves in with the still jolly fellow. The series follows Mickey and his continuing efforts to get acting work when he and Newman have a running gag over who is Kramer's best friend. Not the best, but it tests.
I like that.
I love everybody that's pitching these ideas. They're doing it like in the vein of Seinfeld, and it's almost as if you can hear Kramer pitching this idea to an exec at NBC.
You know, an idea like this makes me appreciate all of those side characters. The secondary characters are just so... You could really pair anyone together. Mickey and Newman, Babu and Poppy. Like, they all work together somehow. Next one is from Eric Toribio. Yeah, Mickey now... Oh, another Mickey idea here. Love it. Now ostracized from the Little People community, has to move back in with his parents while disguising himself to infiltrate the Little People acting community again.
Huh, small world.
Yeah. That would have had Robert Wagner in it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there you go. The episode title would be called 4 Threes A Stretch.
I love that as well. Oh, I can also envision Mickey's parents having dinner with, all the women he dates and marries and divorces, their parents as well.
I love the idea of a Mickey spinoff. I think that's just a great idea.
I hope Danny Woodburn hears about all these ideas and maybe runs with one of them. That'd be nice. Caleb Knox thinks there's only one spinoff involving one of the original 4 that could work. You have to recast the role with a young unknown, but I would totally watch a show revolving around the adventures of a young Kramer, age 20 to 24. You remember the Kramer. We get a taste of what a solo Kramer joint might look like in The Trip, where he is in his own in L.A., filling in some of those lost years before meeting Jerry and the gang would help another piece of the puzzle. That is Kramer... totally enunciated incorrectly there. Let me back that up. Filling in some of those lost years before meeting Jerry and the gang would help another piece of the puzzle that is Kramer fall into place. There we go. And if it was done well, it wouldn't have to eliminate all of the mystery surrounding the character. I'd call it Cosmo. I butchered that pitch, Caleb. I apologize, but I think people got the gist.
I love that idea, but it's impossible to recast Kramer, right? How do you do it?
Who could possibly fill Michael Richards' shoes with stars on them?
Yes, it's impossible.
Impossible. you have some milkshake there?
Oh, I feel like we need to just restart this entire episode.
We are on roll.
I love the idea, though, of getting some background. Of all the 4 characters, Kramer definitely is the most interesting.
Oh, yeah. We could see him in the military before he got his honorable discharge.
Mm-hmm. He lived in Sweden, we think, at some point.
He hopped a steamship.
Yeah, and there's all of these very subtle references to Sweden and the Swedish culture that I feel like had a big role in Kramer's life.
As well as the rigors of living in a very strict household where he had to be in bed by 9 o'clock or I don't have to tell you what happened.
Another spin-off idea comes from James Hammondtree. Kramer falls ass backwards into an honorary law degree and goes out on crusades like a combination of Aaron Brockovich and The Equalizer. He finds products that are, in his opinion, bad and tries to take them down, but ultimately winds up loving their product. Show name, Mess You Up. Kramer always seemed to be in legal issues on the show for some reason.
Yeah, which was a great commentary back in the 90s of people just suing for any possible reason. The coffee was too hot. Yeah. The lid was faulty,
I didn't know he could be so litigious.
He's very litigious. Pete Lindbergh suggests one about where George Steinbrenner gets in a car accident with Frank Costanza, and he can't pay him the money, so the judge decrees that Steinbrenner becomes Frank's butler. The show is called Frank and Stein.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. These shows write themselves.
Yeah, I love it. Pete has another idea here. I'm going to have trouble with this one. It's called Dlefnize, which is Seinfeld backwards. Bizarro Seinfeld.
I didn't pick up on that. I thought that was a German word.
Follows the day-to-day lives of Kevin, Gene, and Feldman. It's a show about everything, which I like. Pilot episode.
Genius.
The pilot episode would consist of Feldman telling Kevin about his plans to get rid of the many levels in his apartment to make it one single floor. Meanwhile, Gene would get a massage from a woman, and afterwards he would talk to Kevin about how a woman was touching and rubbing. Gene would be concerned because he doesn't think it moved during the massage. Lastly, Kevin goes on a date with a woman, and during the date, she doesn't take them out, so that's the last time he sees her again. Finally, at the end of the episode, the gang heads over to a Mexican restaurant to eat dinner, and when they arrive, the hostess immediately sits them at a table.
I love that idea. We could actually get all those actors probably and do like a Kickstarter and actually make this happen.
It would be a nice little short film, and you could just 10, maybe 15 minutes of just constant Seinfeld jokes just flipped around.
Yeah. Oh, man. Pete, you're my man. I love that. Ryan L. Smith has one called Aloha Newman. Aloha Newman. Inspired by a successful uncovering of an ill-conceived mail-order pornography ring, Newman decides to follow his dream of moving to Hawaii, where the air is so dewy sweet you don't even have to lick the stamps, to become a corrupt private investigator. His connections in the Yugoslavian showerhead black market and eclectic skill set, small pet abduction, muffin stump cleaner, impartial arbiter of bicycle ownership disputes, uncanny ability to instantly detect minor details such as an exposed nipple in a Christmas card photo, coupled with a heart so dark it cannot be swayed by pity, compassion, or human emotion of any kind, all serve him well in the high-stakes game of world diplomacy and international intrigue in paradise.
Wow, that's beautiful. Seriously.
Yeah, man.
That might be the best written pitch we have ever gotten. I love that.
Wow.
I love the idea of Newman in Hawaii, and I'm thinking of Dennis Nedry in Jurassic Park. He's got the flower shirt on.
Uh-huh.
He's sitting at that little cafe. Yeah, got some Barbasol.
It's a good meme.
Yeah, nice work, Ryan. I really like that one.
Andy Greenberg's pitch stars a New York City dentist who is arrested while vacationing in New Mexico in a case of mistaken identity. Once in prison, he joins the white supremacist gang, for the jokes, and must prove his worth by fixing the gang leader's painful cavity. After unintentionally killing the gang leader, he finds himself as the new boss, but an uprising soon begins. A strong sect of the gang, calling themselves the Anti-Dentites, has had enough of his regifting their cigarettes to the other inmates, and something must be done. Coming this fall to NBC, Anti-Dentite, starring Bryan Cranston as Dr. Tim Watley, with Donald O'Brien as the gang leader and Dylan Murphy as the leader of the Anti-Dentites.
Very clever. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
There's enough Breaking Bad parody in there, but still keeping it, grounded in the Seinfeld world. I really like that.
It's almost Breaking Bad meets Malcolm in the Middle. It's what you get when those cross paths.
Just looking over all of them, they're all fantastic. I'm leaning a little bit towards the idea of Delefnize, the Bizarro Seinfeld episode, just because I like all of the creative ways you can flip the Seinfeld jokes.
It'd be endless. You have 9 seasons worth of material.
It would be a very unfunny, boring show, ultimately.
That's true.
Where there's no conflict, but I just
the
like
young
that.
man. The young man would be my favorite episode.
But do you have a favorite out of the mix?
I think I like that one as well. I like the title. The title made me chuckle, but I love the way that Pete Lindbergh was able to kind of have all these callbacks and tie-ins and then just twist them. Mm-hmm. I always say, I don't know if we've said it on air, but I feel like the Bizarro Jerry would have been a wonderful finale to the series because Jerry even says the whole system's breaking down. To have the Bizarro Superman, like the statue, the apartment reversed, everything that we know in the world of Seinfeld is crumbling. So that would have been a great way to kind of send off the series. It's just kind of sad that it happened so early in the run.
Do you think it would have ended with Elaine leaving the group, sort of, or what would have the finale have been? It
would have been great when you want to get some coffee? I'll call George. He's happy that everything's kind of coming back and that's how we leave the show. Is we're getting back to the minutia. Mm-hmm. That's how I kind of would have liked to have seen it end in hindsight.
But when it comes to an actual pitch, I think the Aloha Newman, that one just really was pretty brilliant. The way Ryan just tied in everything, bicycle ownership disputes, muffin stump cleaner. I just love all those Newman jokes in there. Those are great. So thanks to everyone for sending in those spinoff ideas. One last thing I wanted to talk about here before we move on to news. James O'Connor sent us some images from an old Mad magazine, old being December of 1997. Issue 364, we've got these great scans, which we'll post on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and all that. But for now, I wanted just to talk about it a little bit. This was right after Jerry announced that season 9 would be their last season. And Mad Magazine came up with this just great spread of NBC's desperate plans for Seinfeld spinoffs.
Right underneath the title is 4 of the characters, Jerry, Elaine, George, and Kramer, running with money bags filled with glee.
Yeah. This is the time when I think Jerry was getting paid $1 million an episode. Or at least that's what the offer was, which was unprecedented.
No precedent, baby!
I think the George, Elaine, and Kramer characters were going to get $500 an episode. Mm-hmm. I think that was the deal. But it's just so funny that this whole idea of Seinfeld spinoffs didn't just start with Jason on the Nerdist podcast. This was obviously joked about way back in 97. And there's too many to list here, but there's one in particular that we really liked. It's called Babu's Coffee Shop. And it's got the illustrations are incredible. You've got Babu, Keith Hernandez, Poppy, Uncle Leo, Joe Davola in clown makeup, the Seinfelds all crammed into monks. And Vinny.
Yeah.
You want to read the pitch here?
Sure. For NBC, it's cheap and easy. Assemble all of Seinfeld's recurring and one-shot characters and cram them into the leftover set from the original show. The legendary diner frequented by the old gang is bought out by Jerry's hapless immigrant ex-buddy, Babu! Among the storylines, Crazy Joe Davola stalks Uncle Leo. Poppy convinces George Steinbrenner to hire him as the Yankee manager. The woman with man hands accidentally feels up the woman with fabulous breasts. Mulva marries the boy in the bubble. Milosh, the tennis pro, and the Drake play Yahtzee with Jerry's parents. Comedian Kenny Banya and ex-big leaguer Keith Hernandez vie for the attention of the woman who invented the puffy pirate shirt. NBC also has plans for a spin-off featuring every Seinfeld extra who ever had a non-speaking role or was briefly seen in the background. Wow. So that was before the finale, though, right? That they wrote that? Because it's kind of poking fun at the finale.
Yeah, this was, 6 months before the finale. I love it. I love these ideas. There's a lot of good ones in here. We'll, once again, post this on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, our usual social media sites. So you guys should definitely check these out. They're just fantastic. And the illustrations really are what get me because it's like a caricature, but it's kind of photoreal.
Right.
Really interesting stuff here.
Did you see the caption there? What Babu is saying?
Yeah, Babu was telling everyone, Jerry is still a very, very bad man, but his friends are very, very good for business. So, yeah, the cheesier, the better. It's funny, actually. I had this issue growing up. I remember the cover is just Jerry, with his arms folded, looking at Alfred E. Newman, saying, "Hello, Newman." But U, M-A-N. Anyways, should we move on to a little Seinfeld news, Vinny?
All right.
Hey, I got news for you.
Great news. All right, I got news. You ready?
Guess whose SNL debut is coming up soon?
Yeah. Can't believe it, man. 2 days, February 6th, Larry David will be hosting Saturday Night Live. Are you DVRing this? Are you going to be there live? What are you doing?
This one I will be watching.
Nice. I figured we could, just depending on our schedule, we could try to do a little recap, a little review show of the episode and maybe, I don't know, release that on Sunday night, maybe Monday morning.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm game.
Sign up. Yeah, can't wait for this one. Also, if anyone is interested in playing some Seinfeld trivia hosted by yours truly, I'll include some links in our show notes. If you can't make any of those dates, just check out triviaad.com. There's a ton of Seinfeld trivia nights happening throughout the month of February that you can definitely check out. By the time this episode of Seincast airs, we will have had the finale for Comedians in Cars Season 7 with Will Ferrell.
I believe it's pronounced Pharrell.
Yeah, Will Ferrell. I'm looking forward to this one, actually.
It should be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll include a link for that in our show notes. Let's move up to Toronto. This is really cool. A couple of our listeners sent us links to a Seinfeld pop-up bar opening this summer in Toronto. I'm on their Facebook page right now. On July 15th, 2016, we launch a summer-long pop-up bar and restaurant parody that recreates Monk's Diner from Seinfeld. Join us for the opening party and get into the Festivus spirit. Pre-sale tickets are coming soon on Eventbrite. We'll include a link for this Facebook page in our show notes here, but Vinny, we were just blown away by this.
It has everything you could ever want. I've been saying, recreate Monk's Diner and they will come. It sounds like this is what we're getting.
Mm-hmm. Here's what they have to offer. Immerse yourself in Seinfeld's world through our recreated Monk's Diner. Bar offerings include Hennigan's, schnapps, beer and a cigarette, Pepsi, $100 wine. Full kitchen includes Kenny Rogers chicken, calzones, no soup for you, big salads. They've also got a Seinfeld shop. There's a costume contest, Little Kicks dance-off. This is incredible. All summer long in 2016. This is in Toronto. It seems like every summer we have some Seinfeld event to go to. It was the 25th anniversary 2 years ago when I went to Seinfeld night at Brooklyn Cyclones. This past summer, you and I went to Seinfeld night again, and we went to the
Hulu. At the Hulu exhibit.
The apartment set. So it seems like every summer there's some gathering of Seinfeld fans, which I just love.
Still relevant, baby. And eventually we've got to make it to Australia, so more in the hopper.
Yeah. But once again, check out our show notes or, on Facebook, Twitter, the usual, for links to what we've discussed here. Speaking of, Vinny, how can people get in touch with us here?
Yeah. If you want to talk to us, send us an email at seincast@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram if you like.
Also, if you want to support the show in any way, you can check us out on iTunes, leave us a rating and review. You can also donate to the show. You can head over to our Tumblr page and look for the tab that says donate. Thanks to everyone who has taken the time to do so. Vinny, what episode do we have this week?
Episode 20 of Season 5, The Fire, written by Larry Charles, directed by Tom Schronis, and it originally aired May 5th, 1994.
I can't believe it, but this is the last episode of Seinfeld written by Larry Charles. The
sad day here.
The George Harrison of the original Seinfeld 4, right?
He's the quiet one.
Mm-hmm. Larry Charles has been with the show since Season 2. He has written some of the best Seinfeld episodes. I don't think there's any debating there. Let's mention a few of them here. The Library, The Subway, The Limo, The Bubble Boy, The Opera, The Airport, The Outing. It's kind of sad because, Larry Charles was part of the original 4. Jerry, Larry. We also lump Peter Melman in that 4. And I feel with his departure, the show is really going to shift tonally. Not that, Larry Charles was keeping that at bay, but I think his episodes definitely had a certain flavor that that we don't really see anymore in seasons 6 through 9.
What I liked about Larry Charles was he kind of had a little bit, or maybe a lot of it, of Larry David in him in terms of going to dark places, versus Jerry was more of the light, Larry was the dark, as well as Larry Charles, and trying to find the funny in things that were not so funny when you first thought of more tragedy. He liked to kind of explore that and see if he could pick out funny bits from there.
Yeah, he really seems to be into the darker side of human nature, right? And how can we twist that into comedy? And that's actually going to come up, in our trivia here for this week's episode. It sometimes went to extremes, with violence. Think of the
death.
Remember when Jerry gets gunned down in the baby shower?
Yep.
With my little cable boy.
Killing off the main character in a dream sequence in an episode of a sitcom.
And remember in The Trip, too, when Kramer goes to L.A., that whole thing centers around a serial killer and these, young women getting brutally murdered. It's like, oh, my God.
We talked a lot about fishbowl episodes where the characters were out of the apartment for the majority of the episode. It seems like most of those types of episodes were Larry Charles. In some way, he was associated with them. I'm thinking the library, the subway, limo, the opera, the airport.
It's funny. I think when we talked about episodes like the parking garage or the Chinese restaurant, we're like, oh, that must have been Larry Charles.
I thought those were him. Yeah.
But they're not.
I'm an idiot.
And then some episodes like The Outing, where I'm like, oh, that's definitely Larry David. That was Larry Charles. So it just
crazy.
Yeah, always catches you by surprise.
I go crazy trying to figure out who wrote those episodes.
Very good. We
mentioned earlier that Larry Charles liked to kind of go to dark places, and he went to a place so dark, in fact, that they decided not to proceed with the episode. But recall our discussion on The Bet, which was the Lost Seinfeld episode.
Yes, we call it the Lost Seinfeld episode because it's the only one we're aware of that was written. They had the table read, they were rehearsing, and then they scrapped it.
We can't do this.
Yeah.
The premise being Elaine buying a gun to keep in her apartment, correct?
Yeah, she felt unsafe, and I guess a lot of the jokes in the episode just didn't really gel. Where do you want it, Jerry? The Kennedy? The McKinley? Pointing at her head, pointing at her stomach with a gun. I would love to read that script. I know it exists out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Have to get our hands on it. But it's gonna be sad moving forward, knowing that Larry Charles doesn't contribute any more Seinfeld episodes. But if you want to watch more Larry Charles like shows or movies, you could check out What Mad About You, Dilbert, The Tick with Patrick Warburton. He also directed a lot of Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes, as well as Borat, Bruno, and Religulous. So he's got just some amazing work out there that everyone should check out. But I think this episode, The Fire, is most known for that image of George pushing all of the women and children out of his way.
Yep.
And apparently this entire episode started with that one image. Larry Charles just had this little vision of George pushing women and children out of the way during a blazing fire. And he constructed the story around that, which I think is brilliant. And when you look back, it's pretty obvious.
Oh, yeah. And I buy it wholeheartedly. I believe this is something that Larry David would do. And by extension, I believe this is something George Costanza would do. Now, the other storyline this week centers around Toby and the office politics of Pendant Publishing. This kind of came out of a weird tragedy. Larry Charles talks about it on an interview from the Seinfeld DVD set.
And that actually came out of a very weird tragedy. There was a woman working at the show next door to us at Radford who had a horrible tragedy and lost a baby, if you could believe this. Now, that wasn't funny at all. Obviously, it was one of the most tragic events I had ever witnessed, actually. But what was odd about it was that the women who worked with her became jealous of the attention that she got from her boss because of her tragedy. And that, to me, struck me as a dark side of human nature that was very applicable to a Seinfeld episode. And so we had this character, Toby, who was a kind of a co-worker of Elaine's, who loses a toe, so we kept it very trivial tragedy. And she winds up getting a lot of attention and getting this promotion, which drives Elaine insane.
I love that. I mean, that's just brilliant, how you can take something so dark.
And they decided to use a pinky toe being something so trivial that Toby could lose and then Elaine being the one who grew very irritated at all the excess attention that Toby was getting.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, Toby is not a very likable character for most of the episode, so you kind of like are in Elaine's camp when, of course, she loses a toe and everyone loves her now.
Toby, can I get you anything?
To me, the thing about birthday parties is that the first birthday party you have and the last birthday party you have are actually quite similar. You know, you just kind of sit there. You're the least excited person at the party. You don't even really realize that there is a party. You don't know what's going on. Both birthday parties, people kind of have to help you blow out the candles. You can't do it. You don't even know why you're doing it. What is this ritual? What is going on? It's also the only two birthday parties where other people have to gather your friends together for you. Sometimes they're not even your friends. They make the judgment. They bring them in, they sit them down, and they tell you, these are your friends. Tell them thank you for coming to my birthday party.
Just like last week's stand-up, another bullseye. This stand-up is so damn relatable. And this one I remember being on I'm Telling You for the Last Time. Mm-hmm. But the whole thing of, like, we can all identify being kids, or at least, you know, seeing a baby's birthday party, them not knowing what's going on. I don't know quite what it's like to be an old person at a birthday party, but I can imagine these are my friends, and needing help with the cake blow, and I just love everything about this stand-up.
Cake blow.
That's how he phrases it on his stand-up album. And you both need help with the cake blow.
It's stand-up like this that I love because it's been staring you in the face the whole time. It's so obvious that the first and the last birthday are similar, but I never made the connection.
It's almost like it could be a card game where there's two sets of cards, and you pull one card from this set, one card from this one, and it's like, here, relate these and make them funny. Like, that's the Jerry Seinfeld card game. And that's what he does week in, week out here. And I think we touched on, you know, dry cleaning and dating and weddings. This is another one of those topics that he seems to fixate on in his stand-up. It's a recurring theme, is the theme of the birthday.
Of the birthday, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, first scene of the episode, we're at Pendant Publishing. We're in Elaine's office. You've got Kramer, that's a new one. Kramer, Elaine, and one of Elaine's coworkers, Toby. They're going over some photos that will be featured in, hey, remember this arc? Kramer's coffee table book about coffee tables?
Yeah.
This, huge oversight on my part. I'm like, yeah, they don't talk about the coffee table book that much this season. They don't talk about it at all. There's the moment it's conceived in the, what was that? The Cigar Store Indian. I don't think it's been brought up until this episode.
Is it at the end of the Cigar Store Indian where Elaine is assigned to work on Kramer's book, where she's so upset about it?
Well, that's when it really gets its, legs. But it's conceived in the Costanza's house when Kramer's talking about, hey, it would make a great coffee table book. There you go.
Get it? Okay.
But it gets its coffee table legs in at the end of the episode when Littman tells Elaine, hey, these are the kind of ideas you should be coming in with. But here we go. It's actually made some traction to the point where Kramer is going over, different photos he's going to feature in the book. And this coworker of Elaine's, Toby, is just over the moon about it. She thinks it's so wonderful. I don't even think she's been assigned it. She's just, a fellow coworker who's kind of butting her way into Elaine's work.
Well, but she thinks the idea is really, really great. And at this point, do we know if Kramer and Toby are dating?
I don't think they're dating. I think this is the first time Kramer is meeting her. I think Kramer is there to discuss the book with Elaine and his ideas, since it's her project.
Okay.
Toby butts in, and Kramer kind of takes a liking to her. She's brimming with positivity.
Well, you mentioned this idea of the coffee table book and it having these pop-up legs. And that bums me out because the fold-out legs actually makes it onto the book. We're going to see in a later episode, Kramer go on to Regis and Kathy Lee. And he's like, the great thing about my book is that it turns into a coffee table book and the legs pop out. But you remember also Kramer had the idea for a built-in coaster on the cover? That one never made it, at least in the episode. We don't see it when we see the actual coffee table book. And man, if Seinfeld, the show, was intent on pushing merchandise during its run, this would have been an amazing piece to make, was a coffee table book that had legs and a built-in coaster. And you could sell this as the Seinfeld coffee table book, because I know I would have bought it. The Office is a great example. The American Office is a great example of pushing merch, because like they had the Michael Scott Fun Run episode, and I bought that. It's a shoebox little set, that came with a shirt, a water bottle, a one of those like Livestrong bands about fighting rabies. So I think like they had the bobblehead episode with Dwight, and then the coffee. I'm going on about The Office, but Seinfeld could have capitalized on merch had it known that it would have been a fruitful endeavor. We should also discuss the character of Toby. She's played by actress Vianne Cox. She got her start in 1968. She was 6 years old. She was on a One Life to Live episode. Oh, cool. She was also in an episode of The George Carlin Show, the movie Dirty Money. She was in You've Got Mail, 2 Weeks Notice, Aaron Brockovich. And then she's been on single eps of like CSI, Numbers, Sex and the City, Law and Order, Royal Pains, Two Broke Girls. She was in a episode of Louie. I just love this actress, this Vianne Cox. She's excellent as Toby. As much as we kind of are irritated by the character, I love that she's so positive and so energetic, and she plays it really well. Other bits of trivia. According to the script, her last name was I don't know how to pronounce that. Overdavk.
I think it's Overdavk.
Okay. Sounds like Nordic or something. So we got that. And then also, Molly Shannon auditioned for the role of Toby. She didn't get the role, but she'd come back in season 8 to play another one of Elaine's nemesis.
Nemesis.
Thank you. In The Summer of George. In the watch shop.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, I kind of got your basic feelings on Toby. Anything else you wanted to add?
Well, she is an irritating character, but it's kind of like I love to find her irritating. You know what I mean? Like I almost see Elaine as in this episode being like, what the hell's wrong with Elaine that she can't find some good in Toby here? Like, I don't know what it is, but I like, she definitely is irritating. And like when she heckles Jerry, as we'll see, I can't stand that she does that. But I just love how she's like, I'm having such a great time. Like, she shakes Kramer. So there's something about her that I do find endearing.
So, for years,
here it comes.
Majority of my time as a Seinfeld fan, I have despised this character. Like,
go on,
right up there with what is it? Ray from The Statue. That's like salutations. That
Raymond Thomas Wojcinski.
Him, the old man, the busboy. Like Toby was in that list of just these characters I hate.
Okay.
On this rewatch, I've done a complete 360.
That's a 180, Matt.
Oh yeah,
obligatory.
Yeah, that was on purpose. I don't know what happened, but I love this character. Like,
right?
I am putting, this is really bold, I'm putting Toby right up there in terms of single shot characters. She's right up there with Bookman for me.
Holy,
I'm taking it even further. Toby cracks me up so much. Every scene she's in kills me. I mean, it's all about Vianne Cox. I think she elevates this character way beyond what's on the page.
Yeah. Her voice is perfect.
Oh, the red hair, her body language, just how she moves, the intonations. Oh, really, really great.
And then there's a line coming up where it's so deadpan.
I never appreciated that joke until this rewatch.
Her face goes stone cold, so serious in that moment.
I'd like that. Yeah. Just a warning, every Toby scene we get, I'm probably going to be raving about her performance. So
deal with it, people.
Yeah, she's great. It's just so funny. She got under my skin for years, just like Elaine. I hated this character, but this time I could really appreciate the performance from Vianne Cox. You were going through her rap sheet there. I think she does a lot of theater as well.
Yeah, she got nominated for a Tony in '96, I believe, for Company. Mm-hmm. A Stephen Sondheim joint.
Yeah, she's really something.
Yeah, she's all right.
Mm-hmm. Toby's Annoying Elaine, Kramer's coffee table book is on its way to being published, and we're at Jerry's apartment, and here we go. Elaine is complaining about Toby to Jerry.
And that coffee table is saying, put some coffee on me. I'd like to put some coffee on her, hot, scalding coffee right in her face. I swear, this is like working with a contestant from The Price is Right.
Yeah, that's real interesting. Elaine, listen, tell me if you think this is funny. Men definitely hit the remote more than women. Men don't care what's on TV. Men only care what else is on TV. Women want to see what the show is before they change the channel because men hunt and women nest.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know.
You don't know? Come on, that's gold.
Well, I don't know about gold.
Oh, that's gold, baby.
Baby? What are you doing saying George now?
Hey, I was saying baby way before George.
Elaine does an amazing impression of Toby. And oh man, I love the put some coffee on me. And then also the Price is Right. Excellent.
It's always great when Julia can be physical. The last scene she's in is great when she gets pushed into the corner of the office.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that sticks out from that clip is Jerry sloughing off Elaine's complaint about Toby. yeah, that's real interesting. Elaine, tell me if you think this is funny. I thought that really sticks out to me.
Mm-hmm. Funny thing about that stand-up, though, you brought this to my attention. That was in another episode, right?
That's true. That was in the baby shower episode. Jerry talks about men hunting and women nesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why they brought that back. Maybe they needed something that could be misinterpreted or could be polarizing with the sexes.
Right. I think they needed something for Toby to fixate on that was kind of like a jab at the female gender for her to get upset at. I think, right?
Yeah.
The other thing that comes out of this clip is we hear that Jerry's got this show, and there's going to be a writer there from Entertainment Weekly. Is that right?
Yeah, Leonard Christian.
Leonard Christian, which is a name that sticks out.
Yeah, I feel like we've either met him before or they've dropped that name as, he's the critic that everyone needs to impress. But yeah, just this episode.
But we both love when we get a character, whether seen or unseen, that has a full name, because it kind of adds depth and scope to the universe.
Oh, for sure. One thing we're kind of glossing over here is Jerry saying, "Oh, that's Gold Baby." That's
true, yeah. Is that the first Gold Baby from Jerry?
I think so, and Elaine is accusing him of doing George, impersonating George. No, I've been saying baby before George, which is great. Mm-hmm. Love that.
I really enjoy that we actually get to see Jerry kind of work out material. Like he's got the notepad, he's in his jeans, and he's testing it out in his apartment. And this is one of Jerry's real bits. So not only do we see him work it out in the show, but we're also going to see him test it out on an audience, which is kind of cool, which was the whole basis for the show originally.
Right. Well, Kramer enters, and one of my favorite greetings, he's like, "Dankeschön, my little dumplings." It's just, I don't know, very cute. Mm-hmm. Of course, he took a real liking to Toby. She's a package full of energy.
She's a package full of something.
Kramer's actually going to bring Toby to Jerry's show tomorrow, which is great since she's a good laugher, apparently. Right, Vinny?
Oh, yeah, she's a great laugher, Jerry. Really, really great.
That's good, man.
Did you find it at all interesting that Elaine is poking fun at Toby right in front of Kramer? Like, she's, like, picking her apart and just making fun of her, and Kramer's just like, yeah.
I mean, Kramer and Toby aren't really, like, an item at this point.
Okay. I guess I assumed they were item throughout the whole episode, so maybe that's why I'm sensitive to it.
Yeah, well, and also, Elaine knew her before Kramer. So
true.
Remember in the one episode when, Jerry and Elaine make fun of Kramer's girlfriend, like, I'm surprised no one's killed her yet.
Right.
And that really offends Kramer. And I think that's because, like, they don't know her as well as Kramer does, whereas Elaine really knows Toby.
For some reason, I'm kind of sensitive to Elaine being so irritated with Toby in this episode, and maybe that's because we kind of are becoming fond of Toby.
Oh, kind of. I love her. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like it's. I don't mean to be creepy, but it's not like I want to be around someone like her because she is irritating. It's just the performance is just absolutely hilarious. I think she's one of the most underrated single shots.
Real, yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, when I see Elaine kind of rag on her and I guess put her down and be irritated with her, I see Elaine in a negative way. Sure. Like I see Elaine as like a George character where it's like not despicable, but
maybe Elaine is a little jealous of Toby too. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that she's
happy with life, it seems.
Yeah, and to be fair though, Toby I think is a little phony. a little.
Oh, new spinoff: Mike Moffat and Toby Overnack in really, really great. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm done. I'm always so in Elaine's camp that it's just I'm like, wow, I'm actually against Elaine for once.
Oh my god.
No, stop the show. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, well, they mentioned that George is going to be at the show with his girlfriend, Robin. She's a waitress at the comedy show, at the Improv. Turns out she also has a kid.
You should see George with this kid.
We cut over to Monk's, and George is out to eat with Robin. But where's the kid? It's so creative, I think. He's under the table in the booth.
Yeah, and the table's getting banged from underneath, so
it's rocking,
and you're hearing the silverware, but he's sucking down equal packets down there. Oh, get your tongue off the floor!
It turns out at the end of the scene, we find out his name is Ben.
Yes, he does yell Ben, which I didn't pick up on until this view.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing under there? Hey, stop that. Don't eat that. That's not food. He's sucking down equal packets.
Do you think 25 kids is too much?
25 kids for his birthday party? Don't put your tongue on the floor. He's putting his tongue on the floor. Here, have some more sugar packets.
So what about entertainment? Should I get Barney?
No, Barney.
Maybe a clown.
How about Bozo?
Who's Bozo?
Who's Bozo? Bozo the clown. That's who Bozo is. When I was a kid, Bozo the clown was the clown, bar none.
George.
With the orange hair and the big clown shirt with the ruffles.
George.
A TV show. He had cartoons.
George! Forget Bozo, George. Bozo's out. He's finished. It's over for Bozo.
25 kids for a birthday party? That's like a whole class of kids.
Yeah, I think I had maybe 10 max. Max.
But the character of Robin is played by Melanie Chartoff, and she also appears in the finale. She's she testifies, right?
I didn't realize that. You're right.
Hello.
Yeah. How else are you going to show the clip of George pushing women and children out of the way?
That's right. She is one of those Friday alums that came up with Larry David, Larry Charles, and Michael Richards. She does some voice work as well. She was in Challenge of the Super Friends. She was in Take 5, Newhart. She was a regular on Parker Lewis Can't Lose. She was in the Weird Science TV series. And she also played Dee Dee Pickles in the Rugrats series.
That's
as
huge.
Well as All Grown Up.
Yeah, I did not know she lent the voice. This entire episode, I'm trying to imagine Dee Dee Pickles, but she definitely, has a specific voice for that character.
See, I didn't have the cable growing up, but I didn't have cable, so I didn't know Rugrats. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's what most of our listeners will remember her from. But the clip we just played, I love it, man. From George just being really distraught, he's putting his tongue on the floor.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
To put the first of two Bozo conversations here, where no one knows who Bozo is.
Oh, and the final line of that clip, Bozo's out. He's finished. It's over for Bozo. That I'm hearing Larry David be like, this line needs to be in this scene right here.
Yeah, it's fantastic. George, is telling Robin, hey, when I was a kid, I never had parties this elaborate. And we get this little moment, which is a rare moment in Seinfeld, where a character will get a little flashback. He looks back on his 7th birthday, and we cut to something. It looks like it's on Super 8. A little young 7-year-old George Costanza sitting at the kitchen table with a birthday cake, and 2 adults just leaning over him screaming. It's Frank and Estelle.
Blow out the candles! Blow out the candles! I said blow out the damn candles!
Stop it, Frank! You're killing it!
Blow out the candles!
It's such a weird moment, but it's wonderful. I wish we got more of these.
That is sad and dark and depressing to see. Oh, that's why George is the way he is.
Especially
this chubby little kid trying to enjoy his birthday. And why is the dad yelling at him to blow out the candles? But it's the Costanzas, so I'm like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Oh God, that's such a great little shot there. I think Estelle has the kind of 60s hairdo.
Mm-hmm.
The kid that cast as George is just perfect. He kind of looks like a young Stephen Corrin.
That's who I thought.
Yeah, from the Susan Ross Foundation.
Chubby, big glasses. He has hair here, but and we should point out that you see the parents only from the back, so you only see their back profile.
Right, but Jerry Stiller and Estelle Harris lent their voices to the characters. Great little moment.
The Robin responds to that flashback with, "Well, George, this time you can blow out the candles." And then George says, as the scene ends, "Nah, I have asthma." Which I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's where we get the Ben scream. I don't recall George ever saying he had asthma before. Do you?
Yeah, I didn't really understand that joke there.
I thought that might have some sort of correlation to the fire.
Oh, you know what? It just came to me now. Maybe George is afraid of fire. I know that's weird, but maybe... No, seriously. Like you cut back to that scene when he was 7. He won't blow out the candles. Maybe he's afraid. Mm-hmm. And then that would kind of back up the fire in this episode. Is there something there? Or
I only remember him in the trip when he said he had to go to the pharmacy to refill his allergy medication, but nothing about an inhaler.
Well, I think the asthma is a lie because I think he might have trauma from
there you go.
Blowing out the candles. Next scene, we're at Pendant Publishing again. Elaine is working in her office, and Toby stops by. She asks Elaine how she's doing. Obviously wants Elaine to return the question.
Yeah, that's irritating about her. Is the whole point of her stopping by is so that she can get Elaine to reciprocate and ask her how Toby is doing.
How are you?
Oh, great. Really, really great.
Well, we got some story points here. Bob Rosen is going to Knopf to be a vice president, which means there's going to be an opening for senior editor at Pendant. Lippman hasn't hired anyone and is apparently looking to hire someone in-house. So you got a little competition going here. Toby, despite always having, this ulterior motive, she is the one to initiate the conversation. Hey, maybe Elaine will get it. You have all these, qualifications.
Elaine kind of swoons over that. She's kind of flattered and blushes. Oh, thank you. She kind of thinks maybe it could be me.
But she has to return the compliment, or at least the idea. And I love Toby's reaction. Really? You think so? Boy, wouldn't that be exciting?
I mean, stranger things have happened.
Wow, me, a senior editor. I'd like that.
That's some serial killer stuff right there.
Never picked up on. That's when you see the real Toby, for sure.
Yeah.
Just wonderful. So we cut over to the Improv bar. Jerry arrives, orders, take a club soda, Charlie.
Name's Mitch.
This is Deck McKenzie, right?
Yes, Jerry's stand-in.
Yes, Deck McKenzie as the bartender, just like he was the bartender in The Sniffing Accountant. There's a fellow comedian at the bar, Ronnie K. He's organizing some props from his suitcase there for his comedy set.
Hey, Matt, are my nostrils getting bigger?
I don't think so.
Are you sure? Take a good look. Do they seem bigger?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is it possible for nostrils to expand?
Is this a bit?
Hey, I don't do bits. I'm a prop comic. Although I gotta say, I loved Gallagher growing up. I saw some of his specials, and I thought prop comedy was hilarious. I know Carrot Top gets a bad rap, but he's cool. If you watch some of his YouTube, I like Carrot Top.
Oh God,
I'm going on record.
Do you want me to edit that part out?
No, I stand by it. He gets a bad rap. But Gallagher, watch old Gallagher stuff. Gallagher is funny. And we just touched on nostrils there. It seems that Larry Charles has a little bit of a affinity for talking about nostrils. Jerry also asked George if his nostrils were getting bigger in The Fix-Up, which was an episode co-written by Larry Charles.
Right.
I think it's a non sequitur that he says out of nowhere. Because George is fixated on something else, and then out of nowhere, Jerry's like, are my nostrils getting bigger? And it's the end of a scene.
Right. For years, this guy playing Ronnie K, I'm like, man, he looks so familiar, and I never realized who it was until recently.
Dom Herrera, famed comedian, actually.
Yeah. I feel like Dom Herrera isn't a household name.
I think he's a who's who among comedians.
Exactly.
But you're right, he's not a household. He's not a mainstream comedian, but in the comedy circle, he is revered, and he's one of the greats.
Yeah. Hence, for years, I'm like, God, that guy looks so familiar. I know I've seen him before. But you would totally lump him in with Gary Shandling or Gilbert Gottfried or
Dave Attell, all the comedians that the comedians respect in the comedy circles. He's in there.
Yeah.
Dom Herrera plays Ronnie K, the prop comic, and he's also done a lot of TV, like bit parts here and there. Golden Girls, Hollywood Shuffle. It's Gary Shandling's show. He was also on Parker Lewis Can't Lose, which previously we talked about Melanie Chartoff being in there. He was in the parody Silence of the Hams. He...
I looked off to the side because I have that.
Oh, really?
I love 90s spoof movies, even 80s spoof movies. And that's one with Dom DeLuise and Billy Zane that most people don't know about, and for good reason. The movie's terrible, but I just can't remember what character.
I know you always loved Loaded Weapon.
Oh yeah, Loaded Weapon.
You always quote those. Yeah. Dom Herrera was also in Dr. Katz, a professional therapist. He voiced as well as wrote 6 episodes. He was in The Big Lebowski. He was a regular on the TV series Damon. And he appeared in single episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond, Home Improvement, Becker, King of Queens, and other voice work, including Hey Arnold.
Cool. So Ronnie can't find his water gun, I guess, which is a plot point we'll return to later, just as Kramer arrives with Toby.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey.
Well, here's Toby. Jerry.
This is so exciting. Look, I have goosebumps. Touch them. I've never been to a comedy club before.
Really? You know, a lot of restaurants are serving brewed decaf now, too.
You are so funny.
Oh, you'll have a good time, I swear.
Oh, he swears like he thinks I don't believe him. I believe you. I believe you. Oh, he's so funny.
What about me?
What about you? I'm only kidding. You're funny, too. I love to laugh.
Good.
So you up next?
Yeah, why don't you guys get a table so you have good seats?
Oh, yeah. We don't want some jerk sitting in front of us. It'll be like, hey, big head, can you move out of the way? I didn't pay a cover charge to stare at your bald spot.
All right, so you have a good show, huh, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, have a great show. Hey, we'll make sure it's a great show.
Okay, good. I'll see you later.
Oh, he's so great. This is so great. I'm so excited.
This is just incredible. I mean, that last line where she disappears around the corner, and then she comes back and grabs Kramer. This is so great. I'm so excited.
And Kramer, Michael Richards is a damn genius because he does this little like shimmy, like a dainty little.
Isn't she great?
Yeah. And he puts his hands up. It's so perfect.
Oh my God,
He has a Jerry. Here, touch my goosebump.
It's just out of control.
Jerry too is repulsed by her.
Oh, that's such a great, like, sarcastic line. You know, a lot of restaurants are serving brewed decaf now.
And she's not offended, even though it's a jab at her. She just laughs in stride.
And the way she's delivering these lines, if I'm not exhausted, I'm getting a headache. I just don't know how she did it. It's just incredible. And then let's just cut right over to the next scene. It leads right into Jerry's stand-up. And you can just imagine, packed house.
Men definitely hit the remote button more than women, wouldn't you?
Oh, really? That is so true.
Yes, yeah. Men don't care what's on TV. Men only care what else is on TV.
Yeah, right on.
Women really want to see what the show is before they change the channel.
Oh, that is so true. Yes.
That's why men hunt and women nest. All right. So anyway, what was I talking about?
It is so funny to see Jerry flustered like that. It's. I think it's rare that we see him get heckled, but from the opening line, oh really? That is so true. And he's like, yeah. I get it. Yeah. And he can't get through his set. It's. I feel bad for Jerry, but it's hysterical.
Annoyed Jerry is the best because he's typically a pretty upbeat kind of guy, always likes to see the funny side of things. But to really get under his skin, you have to get at him when he's doing what he loves, which is comedy. It's like, whoa, this is my time. This is my space.
She's ruining it.
Absolutely.
I got to point out, though, or I got to admit, during this clip, I get distracted.
I know what you're talking about.
And I have to...
Talking about the flaming globes.
Yes. There's cleavage in the area. Cleavage poke. There is a woman, an extra in the front row. She has the lowest cut dress or top, and it's every time there's a shot of her, my eyes dart there, and I feel like a pig. But is it me? Am I wrong? What'd you tell me?
I noticed it for sure. It didn't take away from what was going on, but yeah, it's impossible not to notice.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Me. Anyway, so what we're talking about?
Right. I do love how quickly Toby turns on him. It's just, yes, so true. Boo. And that is so obnoxious. Why would you ever boo or hiss like that?
I'd be terrified. Given today's comedic climate, like a comedian will tear you to shreds if you try and pull that crap.
Oh, yeah. I wonder why he didn't go after her, because...
Well, he says because of Kramer.
Oh, that's right.
They're dating now, and he's really sweet of Jerry. He's being considerate of his friend who is now in this relationship with this woman. He doesn't want to put any friction there, so he holds off.
Which is so interesting. Since you brought up earlier, Elaine doesn't bite her tongue. She just makes fun of Toby right in front of Kramer. Mm-hmm. After the show, we're back at the bar, and Jerry is just pacing around. You can tell he's really upset. When Kramer and Toby arrive, he just totally flips out. It was an important show. You boo me, you hiss, you don't stop blathering through the whole set. And Toby gets really defensive. I thought you were a pro. That's part of the show.
No, not part of the show. You boo puppets. You hiss villains in silent movies.
Toby is so defensive here. How are you going to make it in this business if you can't take it?
Oh, I can take it.
Does Toby make any strong points here as to why she should be allowed to shout at Jerry? I mean...
She has no right to yell out during a performance. This is her first foray into being an audience member at a stand-up club.
What's insane, I mean, Vinny, you go to a lot of comedy shows, and there's always someone in the audience. It can't be their first time at a comedy show.
Never fails.
But there's always, and it's usually because they're drunk, but they start talking back to the comedian. And it's like, why do that? Why bring attention to yourself?
Well, there it is. I think they either want attention, or if you've had a few too many, you're like, I'm funnier than this guy. I remember actually I was dating a girl, and we went to go see Dimitri Martin, and she had a couple before the show, and then during the show, and she started going. It was the opener for Dimitri Martin, and she said she like points to me or turns to me and real loud she says, "This guy's not funny." Oh, and I'm like, "Oh God, please don't say anything." And then during the show, the guy would deliver a joke, the crowd would laugh, and she's like, "You're not funny." But we were up in the balcony, and I was cringing, and I'm like, "Please shut up, please shut up." I didn't know what to say because I'm dating this girl. What do I say?
If it got to a point where I'm like cringing, I would have just left. I would have been like, "Have a nice life."
I was really embarrassed that night. That's one of the few. I forgot about it actually, but this jogged my memory.
But Jerry's pissed. Toby's not apologizing. Toby and Kramer leave, and at least Ronnie K. Thought it was a good set.
Ooh, Jerry could have just smacked him in the face right there.
But he was trying to be nice, right?
No, he wasn't. Oh, great set. That was a dig, man. That was a comedian dig.
See, I totally interpreted that as Ronnie K. The character is so bad at comedy, he thought it was a good set. No. Well, anyways.
Some dialogue / scene that was cut out. Originally, Robin was going to come over and ask Kramer to pay for his drinks, and Kramer was going to reply that the drinks were comped. But it was cut for time. But you can actually see in the scene, you can see Robin walking away at the end of the scene.
Yeah.
So there's still some footage left.
It's so funny. That's one bit of trivia that I never remember. Robin works at the comedy club. It's brought up in the first scene or at Jerry's apartment. You see a little bit of her here, and you see her at the end, of course. But yeah, for some reason, I just never put that together. I just think she's George's girlfriend. Right.
Well, I think it also doesn't help that you don't see her as a waitress or bartender in other episodes, because we do see him at this club quite a bit.
Right.
But we see Deck McKenzie as Mitch, the bartender. So I always am like, oh yeah, that's where he works. But not her.
Right. This is one of several waitresses or servers that the characters date. George dates Kelly, the waitress.
Kramer dates
what's her name?
Hildy from Reggie.
Hildy, yes. That might be it, but there's something there.
George gets with the Portuguese waitress.
Right. Kramer dated Olive. She was the cashier, but still.
That's right. Who else? Kind
of works.
Did Jerry date?
Jerry. It's not at Monk's, but remember Naomi, the hostess at the one restaurant.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. George also hooks up with Ruthie Cohen at one point.
Ooh.
Okay. Anyway, so let's move.
Was that in the bet?
Yeah. Well, let's cut over to Robin's apartment here. We're in Soho, I think, and I had to look at the street sign. This is on the corner of Grand and Green Street. If anyone wants to visit, Inside, fun birthday, lots of balloons, streamers, food, kids. There's some adults, a couple of elderly people too. But right in the middle of the party is George just complaining to a clown.
Bozo?
No.
B-O-Z-O.
Sorry.
You've never heard of Bozo the Clown?
No.
How could you not know who Bozo the Clown is?
I don't know. I just don't.
How can you call yourself a clown and not know who Bozo is?
Hey, man. What are you hassling me for? This is just a gig. It's not my life. I don't know who Bozo is. What, is he a clown?
What, is he a clown? What, are you kidding me?
Well, what is he?
Yes, he's a clown.
All right, so what's the big deal? There's millions of clowns.
All right, just forget it.
Forget me? You should forget it. You're living in the past, man. You hung up on some clown from the 60s, man.
All right. Very good, very good. All right, go fold your little balloon animals, Eric. Eric. What kind of name is that for a clown, huh?
He really is fixated on Bozo. He's obsessed.
Yeah. And the clown's delivery, man, just the back and forth is incredible between just his annoyance. He's mildly annoyed. No, I haven't heard of the clown.
He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be at this party. It's not his life. No, I don't know who Bozo is. And then George,
what is he, a clown?
Yeah.
Yes. If the performance wasn't enough to find out who's under the makeup, that just blew my mind.
That was a very cool reveal. Jon Favreau plays Eric the clown. This guy has been in everything. He writes, he produces, he acts, directs. Rudy, PCU, Swingers. He was in 6 episodes of Friends, Deep Impact, Very Bad Things, The Replacements, Made, The Breakup, 4 Christmases, I Love You, Man. Did you know he did voice work on Star Wars: The Clone Wars?
Yep. What's his name?
All right.
Pre Vizsla.
Damn, that boy's good. He was in The Wolf of Wall Street, and he wrote Swingers, Made, Couples Retreat, and Chef. He also directed Made, Elf, Iron Man 1 and 2, Cowboys and Aliens, and Chef. Currently, he's directing The Jungle Book, which is coming out this year. Mm-hmm. And he was a producer on all the Iron Man movies as well as the Avenger movies. So this guy, damn.
I feel like Jon Favreau is probably one of the biggest names ever to show up on Seinfeld, even though he is under makeup. And this is his first...
This is his first TV gig.
Right. Mm-hmm. Did you recognize him?
I believe, yeah, because I knew him from PCU. That was my first exposure to him. He was Gutter. Mm-hmm. Gutter is a tool. Gutter is a tool. So when I saw that, I thought that was kind of cool. And then I remember him in Friends. He wanted to be an Ultimate Fighting Champion, mm-hmm. and he had really cool delivery. As I have to ask you, am I the Ultimate Fighting Champion yet? Cool. He had a cool. He actually dated Monica.
Oh, nice. I think you can see Jon Favreau more in the later scenes, once the wig is off and you can see that black curly hair. Mm-hmm. But if you don't recognize his face, the delivery is there,
Yeah.
What are you hassling me for? This is just a gig.
It's not my life.
Yeah. But yeah, just an incredible scene. I don't even want to say it's underrated, but I think this is one scene that doesn't really get a lot of attention in clip shows and stuff like that. That's just, solid 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But after this disagreement with Eric, the clown, George meets Robin's elderly mother, who makes the big mistake assuming that George is a lovely young man.
Well, George does do very well with the mothers. If he could date the mothers and have sex with the daughters, then he'd really have something. But hey, that's a storyline that kind of tracks. Is George? He's very good passing in front of the mothers and the grandmothers as a respectable young man.
Well, this scene reminds me so much of the...
This is that right?
Very good, but also the Implant, when he's at the funeral or at the wake.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But everyone's having fun. George casually makes his way to the back, to the kitchen, because he smells some smoke.
Smoke? Everybody, I think I smell some smoke back here.
My eyes always dart to that woman with the walker when he shoves her out of the way and she goes flying.
That's actually a stunt woman, young stunt woman in old lady attire.
Yeah.
It's not an old lady stunt woman who came out of retirement.
That would have been pretty cool, actually. I always watch her her acting when she moves across the set, because she really sells it. I really believe that's an old lady under there.
But it is perfect. That image of George pushing, let alone children and women, but an elderly woman with a walker moving ever so slowly out of the way.
Possibly killing her.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to her.
Well, he stepped on someone's arm. But, there's a great painting out there. I don't know the artist. I'll share it on Facebook. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's George screaming as all these children are surrounding him, and there's a blazing inferno coming from the kitchen. A great, great painting. But we cut over to the alley here as George is the first one, out the door. He's the one sitting in the back of an ambulance. He's got his oxygen mask, trying to convince the paramedics, it was an inferno in there. And then this mob of kids and parents, led by Eric the Clown, find the coward and just start attacking him.
And I got to admit, there is a line that is uttered by Robin's mother that I never picked up on before. But amidst the women and Eric the Clown attacking George, Robin's mother says, "That's the coward that left us to die."
Yeah.
And she screams it. And that cracked me up when I heard that.
We get an act break, and then we're back at the alley. George here is trying to defend himself to Robin, her mother, and Eric, the paramedics, and a firefighter. I'm really glad we have this bit of trivia here, because I always thought Jason's voice sounded a little weird.
I thought, before we reveal the trivia, I thought he did something, I don't know if he was like running laps or doing something to make him appear hoarse.
Oh, because of the smoke?
Because he was exposed to the smoke. Yeah. And I thought that was intentional, but it wasn't. It turns out he was rehearsing this scene the day before, and he lost his voice.
Just shouting and projecting.
Yeah, which it works out perfectly for the scene, I think.
I was trying to lead the way. We needed a leader, someone to lead the way to safety.
But you yelled, "Get out of my way!"
Because, as the leader, if I die, then all hope is lost. Who would lead? The clowns? Instead of castigating me, you should all be thanking me. What kind of a topsy-turvy world do we live in where heroes are cast as villains, brave men as cowards?
But I saw you push the women and children out of the way in a mad panic. I saw you knock them down. And when you ran out, you left everyone behind.
Seemingly, to the untrained eye, I can fully understand how you got that impression. What looked like pushing, what looked like knocking down, was a safety precaution. In a fire, you stay close to the ground, am I right? And when I ran out that door, I was not leaving anyone behind. Oh, quite the contrary. I risked my life making sure that exit was clear. Any other questions?
How do you live with yourself?
It's not easy.
What rare form to see him in right here, to see him actually literally backed into a corner. Everyone knows he's full of it, and yet he just keeps going, trying to, seemingly. I fully understand how, to an untrained eye. You mentioned the fireman asking George, "How do you live with yourself?" That fireman is played by actor Lawrence Lejeune. This actor also comes back to appear in The Face Painter as a crowd member.
Oh, at the hockey game.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Double dipper then?
Nah. He's a fireman. He's one of New York's finest. He's going to go watch the Rangers take on the Devils.
Maybe when we get to the face painter, we can see if we can even see him in the crowd, and maybe we can reevaluate then. But yeah, just a great scene here. Let's go over to Monk's. George now is telling Jerry about the incident, how he knocked over Robin, her mother too. might have stepped on an arm.
So basically, it's every man, woman, child, and invalid for themselves.
In a manner of speaking. Jerry really seems to be in an interesting place here. It's like he thinks it's messed up what George did, but he also wants to be funny at the same time. I'm just amazed that something this dark, I think arguably the most despicable George moment up until this point, maybe ever, who knows, Jerry isn't really laying into him and saying, what are you doing? How could you do something like this?
Yeah.
Maybe because we just got a Jerry scene like that with Toby.
Perhaps.
Dressing someone down, but it's just funny, I think, how Jerry can still find the humor and sarcasm, in a situation like this. Well, turns out the fire was just some greasy hamburgers.
Yeah. Eric, the clown, put him out with his big shoe.
That really gets a good laugh from the audience.
There's also a long George rant that was cut following this dialogue. George says, all right, so I'm a coward. Big deal. We need cowards. That's the problem with society. Not enough cowards. If you don't have cowards, you don't have heroes. How is little Ben, remember we talked about Ben, the son, earlier? How is Ben going to know who to look up to if he doesn't know who to look down on? The human race would not have survived without cowards. Somebody had to run away from the dinosaurs, or he wouldn't even be here.
That's such a brilliant George way of looking at things. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I wish they kept that in.
Mm-hmm.
So Jerry takes out a magazine with the negative Leonard Christian article. So bad, turns out a gig in Miami got canceled. Jerry was gonna, as you pointed out earlier, Vinny, let Toby have it for heckling him, but he held back for Kramer. And George casually suggests at first Jerry maybe should go down to where Toby works and heckle her. And it's almost like it clicks. You should actually do that. You should go down to her place and heckle her.
That's the first sane thing George has said all day, I would argue.
It's the ultimate comedian's revenge.
Well, go ahead. Do it.
Why can't I?
No reason.
She came down to where I work. I'll go down to where she works.
This is unprecedented.
No precedent, baby.
What are you doing, my babies now? Oh, and when Jerry, I mean, I say this every week or whenever it happens, but Jerry, as he says, no precedent, baby, he brings the coffee cup up to his lips and he's smirking. Because he's so pleased with that line and the delivery and the moment. And as an audience member, he's enjoying it just as much as we are. Oh,
I regret not keeping track of all of the George babies.
Yeah.
Along the way here. It would have been nice to track them. How many times has George said baby in order to justify, hey, that was my thing?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we're over at Pendant Publishing. Toby is working in her office when Jerry just pops in and starts ripping her apart for wearing sandals at work. And she can't take it. Starts telling him, hey, I'm really busy. I've got a lot of work to do, which is exactly the point Jerry wants to make. He continues to harass her, starts booing and hissing. And as Kramer arrives, Toby is so distraught that she storms out of the office. And do you know where I'm going with this?
Oh, I know exactly where you're going with this.
One of the strangest, if not the strangest moment, there's a shot of a busy New York street. You hear Toby screaming, my pinky toe. And then there's a tight shot on Kramer, like a really tight shot.
As tight as you can get.
And what's the noise Kramer makes?
Oh! Oh!
And man, still to this day, I hate this moment so much.
Oh, really?
It's so weird, right?
I like it.
Oh my God. What do you like about this? Tell me.
I like everything about it.
As someone who likes everything on Seinfeld, what do you like about this execution?
It's tragic. Kramer.
Oh, shut up.
She's trying to buy back her pinky toe. It's horrific what's happening, and they can't show her pinky toe getting sliced off by a street sweeper.
But how do you know that's what happened?
Well, you don't know. You hear the bus and do you hear honking?
Wait, you put together that her pinky toe got sliced off by a street sweeper in the scene?
She says my pinky toe.
But how do you know that's what happened?
Something happened to her pinky toe.
Okay. Well, there's actually a deleted scene to go along with this moment here. In the deleted scene, you've got Jerry harassing Toby. She runs out and she screams about her pinky toe. My pinky toe! And you have that weird close-up on Kramer. Then it cuts back to the office. Elaine finds out that Jerry heckled her, which isn't really that important. You cut to an ambulance driving off, and then Kramer drops to the ground, and he looks under the car, and he finds the pinky toe, and he dumps out his Cracker Jack box, puts the toe in it, asks for some ice from a little hot dog stand, and then he runs off.
I do remember that now that I have it pulled up, and now it's all coming back to me.
Mm-hmm. Kramer, we're in Jerry's apartment. Kramer's upset at Jerry for heckling Toby, resulted her being in an accident. And Thankfully, George arrives and gets to hear the story with Jerry.
Well, after he heckled Toby, she got so upset she ran out of the building and a street sweeper ran over her foot and severed her pinky toe.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, then after the ambulance left, I found the toe. So I put it in a Cracker Jack box, filled it with ice, and took off for the hospital.
You ran?
No, I jumped on the bus. I told the driver, I got a toe here, buddy. Step on it.
Holy cow!
Yeah. Then, all of a sudden, this guy pulls out a gun. Well, I knew any delay's gonna cost her pinky toe, so I got out of the seat and I started walking towards him. He says, where do you think you're going, Cracker Jack? I says, well, I got a little prize for you, buddy. Yeah! Knocked him out cold.
How could you do that?
Yeah, then everybody is screaming because the driver, he's passed out because of all the commotion. The bus is out of control. So I grab him by the collar, I take him out of the seat, I get behind the wheel, now I'm driving the bus.
You're Batman.
Yeah, I am Batman. Then the mugger, he comes to and he starts choking me. So I'm fighting him off with one hand and I kept driving the bus with the other, you know? Then I managed to open up the door and I kicked him out the door, you know, with my foot, you know, at the next stop.
You kept making all the stops?
Well, people kept ringing the bell.
What about the toe? What happened to the toe?
Well, I am happy to say that the little guy is back in place at the end of the line.
You did all this for a pinky toe?
Well, it's a valuable appendage.
That might be my favorite Kramer scene in the series.
Yeah,
Everything
it's
about
up there.
it. I do like when each character kind of gets a long monologue. We've seen Elaine with when she had the guy visiting from Yakima, and she's like, that numbskull. We've seen George in the Marine Biologist. We've had Jerry in The Race, or we will see Jerry in The Race. But when I think of what's the best Kramer monologue, this might be the one. And the fact that it's dialogue, there's no visual other than Kramer kind of, pantomiming him and he's driving the bus, and it's oh man, Michael Richards. Comic genius right here.
And what makes the scene even better is originally they were going to film the sequence of, we already got the toe in the Cracker Jack box, but of Kramer getting on the bus, fighting off the mugger, then driving the bus and making the stops. This was all going to be, intercut with Jerry's apartments. Very similar to the, remember the JFK scene and The Boyfriend.
Right, Jerry monologue interwoven with clips from that fateful day.
Right, and I was like, man, I wish we could have seen that. But then you find out they rented the bus, they hired the actors, they filmed this portion first of Michael delivering the monologue. There was such a great response from it. They realized we really don't need to film the bus portion. This works all on its own.
They got all the laughs they needed just from Kramer doing the dialogue on set.
And you're just like, oh my God, just hats off to Michael Richards once again for elevating the material.
I can imagine the way Kramer describes each, I'm fighting him off with one hand, and now I'm driving the bus. And then he punches out the guy. I got something for you, Cracker Jack.
God.
I can visualize that, and I really, when George says you're Batman, that's how I think of it, as him being this larger than life hero. So I'm actually glad we don't see it.
Now, before we move over to the next scene at Pendant Publishing, there was another scene in the script that was going to take place between Jerry's apartment and Pendant, and it took place in a movie theater, which is really interesting because this will tie into the opposite in 2 weeks.
Think the opposite right now. Imagine the opposite. But George and Jerry are sitting in a movie theater. George is still kind of stewing over being labeled this coward, or at least being exposed as this coward. And he becomes distracted by two obnoxious men sitting behind, and they're kicking in their chairs. In a fit of rage, George turns and screams at the men, causing them to fall silent. And then George then turns to Jerry and says, I've done it. I'm not a coward anymore. Now, this was cut after the table read, but never fear, they managed to repurpose this scene and use it in the season 5 finale, The Opposite.
Yeah, when I first heard about this, I'm like, wait, we get that almost verbatim in that scene with Michelle Pfeiffer's sister.
Yeah. Shut your traps and stop kicking the seats.
Yeah. I'm glad they're able to reuse it. That's great.
Yeah, and I like it better that George is impressing a woman versus it being Jerry who he's accompanying to the movies.
Right, and it doesn't really seem necessary for a scene like this because why does George need to prove that he's not a coward? He is a coward.
He doesn't need to overcome his cowardice here, and it fits so much more perfect in the opposite because he's doing the complete opposite of every instinct he's ever had. So rather than keep your mouth shut and get bullied by these thugs behind him, he's going to stand up to him.
Cut over to Pendant. Elaine is now getting the story from her coworker. I wrote down Joanne. Is that right?
It is Joanne.
Joanne, right. We've seen her a lot this season. And some other guy. Michael, is he the one from the, I forget the episode, but with Joel Rifkin?
Joel Rifkin, yeah.
This is the same guy. Okay, so yep. Joanne and Michael, they're reminding Elaine, because of the accident, Toby losing her pinky toe, she's going to need everyone's support. And right on cue, here comes Toby in crutches, getting everyone's attention. She's followed by this huge crowd of coworkers all fawning over her. A line you alluded to earlier, which I love, I know you love, is from Michael. What is it?
No, you say it this time.
It's like,
I've had my fun.
Toby, what can I do? Can I get you something? It's just...
No, I'll be okay.
Such a sweet delivery. But the group of coworkers, gets so large that they slowly push Elaine further and further back in her office until she pretty much falls over, slides off a stack of magazines.
And all the magazines crash down on top of Elaine.
Yeah, it's nice.
She should only clean that office.
And then we're over at Jerry's apartment again. No big surprise here. Elaine tells Jerry that Toby got their promotion for senior editor because of her pinky toe. Lippman felt so sorry. He didn't want to hurt her feelings. So there you go. I love how Elaine, it's not like, God, she's so annoying. She doesn't complain about that anymore. She just starts attacking the pinky toe. Like, that's not it. That's no tragedy.
Sure, it's cute, but it does nothing. It's got that nail that's impossible to cut. What do we need it for?
Well, Vinny, that's the one that goes wee wee all the way home.
Why don't you shut the...
Hey, here's an on-site. Kramer is just sort of leaning out of his apartment. And here's an answer to a question I had a few weeks ago. He's in his tidy whities.
No, those are boxers.
Oh, whatever. Well, they're both chubby weathermen.
You wanted to know. Yeah.
Remember, I'm like, weren't there other scenes where Kramer's just in his underwear and, Calvin Klein comes to mind, but...
Oh, I just thought of another one.
What do you got?
When he sells a suit to Banya for a cool $300.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's stuck in the dressing room.
Women's dressing room.
Mm-hmm. I need some clothes. So there you go, 4 for 4. Calvin Klein, tanning bed here, and with Banya. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with thinking of Michael in his underwear.
Got a thing.
Anyways, turns out Toby's first order of business is going to put Kramer's coffee table book into bookstores as soon as possible. So we've got 2 weeks until that finale. Need to get it in stores. And we cut over to the Improv. Jerry is at the bar with Ronnie K. Turns out Jerry went to visit Leonard Christian and got him to agree to come back to Jerry's show and write another article. Ronnie heard about Jerry going to a heckler's office to heckle them and sees Jerry as this is perfect, the Rosa Parks of stand-up comedy.
It's appropriate, I guess. Not quite on the same level, but yeah.
Well, come on. Ronnie K's an idiot.
It's fine.
Now, this got me thinking, though. It really would be awesome if a comedian heckled someone at their job.
I got an idea for a reality show. Set up, at the cellar. Film the audience. If somebody gets heckled, you... zero in on them and you find out where they work, and then you have Godfrey or Phil Hanley or any comedian go visit him at work and heckle him, and that's the reality show.
That's the worst idea ever.
Wait, gold. What are you talking about?
So you're banking on someone heckling the comedian, and then you get their personal info.
Exactly.
And then a different comedian goes to heckle them?
No. The same comedian that heckled. We call it the comedian's revenge.
Okay, all right.
I like that idea.
No, it's not practical. The MC calls Jerry onto the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jerry Seinfeld.
LD, right?
Yeah, Larry David.
Meanwhile, George arrives, feeling really inspired by Kramer's act of heroism. This kind of comes out of nowhere, really, right?
Yeah, what was I guess him not being a coward anymore in that deleted dialogue we heard?
But also Kramer's monologue, about fighting off the mugger.
Yes, you're right. You're Batman.
Yeah, that's enough. But Jerry's on stage doing a bit on Bozo the Clown. Not to be confused with Bozo the District Attorney, Bozo the Pope. And the audience is just eating it up. Meanwhile, George encounters Ronnie K holding up the bartender with a gun. This, of course, causes George to freak out like he did with the fire, screaming, "He's got a gun!" And the comedy club just empties out in a mass panic, and Robin, who's working, screams at George, "This is Ronnie K!"
The prop comic?
Yeah, George, of course, he didn't notice him because of a haircut, right?
Nostrils.
Yes. And then Jerry, his set ruined, once again walks up, in his calmest manner, asks George, "Can I have a word?" And there you go. That's the end of the episode. I love a good freeze frame.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize it until this rewatch. This is Larry Charles's final episode, and we always bring up the bet, that lost episode, about buying a gun. One of Larry Charles's final jokes, maybe his final joke, involves a gun with Ronnie K.
He found a way.
Yeah. Larry finds a way.
I was in a hotel room the other day, and the back of the door in the hotel room, they have that fire map. I'm flattered they think I have it together enough to stand in a burning hotel room memorizing directions. Yeah, I'll go left by the stair, right by the candy machine. I'd probably get lost, have to go back to the room, check the map again. And they always tell you, no matter what, whatever you do in a hotel fire, do not panic. Hey, I got 4 minutes to live. I've never panicked my whole life. It's my option. Even if they find you, you have a perfect excuse. Gee, I heard they saved you swinging from the shower curtain naked with the ice bucket on your head. What happened there? Well, I panicked. That's understandable.
Another fine piece of stand-up right there.
Mm-hmm.
And what got me thinking was, that's 4 different stand-up pieces we've seen in a single episode. We had the opening bit of stand-up. Then we had the stand-up where Jerry gets heckled by Toby.
Mm-hmm.
We just saw Jerry do his bit on Bozo the Clown. And now we finished it up with this hotel room bit. So I think that's the most amount of stand-ups we've ever seen in an episode.
Yeah, the only other episode that comes to mind is the Red Dot. Remember with Dick?
Dick.
He has at least 2 scenes. I think that episode only has 3.
Right.
So,
We've seen mid stand-up, to break up an episode, but this is 4.
Yeah, this might be the most.
Yeah.
What do you think about this closing stand-up, though?
I love it. I have thought of that. Like, you're in the hotel room, you're like, oh yeah, there's the map. But when you actually need it, you're not going to consult it in a real fire.
Oh, not at all.
So, what do you think?
This was a solid episode this week. A lot of things I liked about this episode. The iconic scene with George pushing people out of the way, knocking women, children, elderly ladies over as he escapes a fire, and his post-fire scene where he's trying to explain himself and why he's a hero, seemingly. And we got introduced to this character of Toby, who Matt and I both have developed a liking towards. It's funny because
I have to ask, do you like her as much as I do? Like, not trying to make it competitive, but is she
right now?
Is she in your top 5? Maybe
I don't
top
think
10?
so.
Okay.
Of single shots?
I think she's in my top 10.
No, I don't think she cracks that list.
And we're talking single shots. I'm not talking Newman or Poppy or.
I haven't really sat down to do my single shot, or I can't. Who's in your single shots right now?
Well, again, we don't count the finale, so Bookman is in there.
He's definitely in there.
Yeah. Tom Pepper in the pilot.
Okay.
I really like Tom Pepper. Right now, I can't think of anyone else, again, single shot, that really competes with Toby up until this point.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to do my research, but I liked her more this watch, but I've always liked her. But I think it's the way Vianne Cox plays it. And what I wanted to make sure we touched on was this is an example of a character being unlikable, and yet the way the actress portrays her makes her likable, versus the old man, for whatever reason, as much as I love Bill Irwin in like Home Alone, he's such a sweet guy when I see him. his character, it gets under my skin, which is so weird because he's such a sweet guy, you know.
But at the same time, I think we would understand if people really hate the Toby character.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure most people do. But for some reason, like I guess I'm like taking a step back.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably the highlight of this episode, and that voice, that hair. But I like, and for me, what makes me remember this episode and think fondly of it is Kramer's monologue when he describes how he took down the Cracker Jack on the bus.
Yeah.
It's not at the same level as George's Marine Biologist tale, but this is the equivalent for Kramer.
I think they could go toe to toe, and you can applaud them both. Oh, hey, pinky toe to pinky toe. But I wouldn't fault anyone for liking it more than the Marine Biologist. They're just both wonderful. Yeah. How do you feel about the Jerry storyline and the Elaine storyline?
Well, every week we touch on maybe one character can't get serviced appropriately given 4 storylines you gotta throw in there. I like Jerry's because I love the premise of him working on a joke, bringing it to the stage, and then it doesn't work out. He gets heckled, and now how's he going to react? And I like the way they took it to see him deal with a heckler. And I love George's line of, what if you heckled her? You know, and to see him do that. And it's cool that it's connected with Toby and Kramer's storyline. But Elaine seems to kind of fall by the wayside here. Her storyline is the weakest of the 4.
Yeah, I totally agree. Elaine's storyline this week, unfortunately, is just kind of wasted, I think.
It happens.
It happens with her. Well, it happens with her more than anyone, where there's a really funny guest star or character that she's connected to, and she just winds up kind of talking about them. I kind of felt that way with Aaron during the Raincoats. You know,
right?
Like Judge Reinhold just nailed that role and was hilarious, and all Elaine has to do is just be like, "How weird is this person?" or "I don't like this person." You're kind of turning me around on the Jerry storyline because I was a little lukewarm on that as well. But it is really neat whenever you can see the character work on his material and dip back into that, you know, the original premise of the TV show. How does a character get his material for stand-up? Gotta address the Jon Favreau, Eric the Clown character. Yeah. Just solid scene there talking about Bozo.
That clown from the 60s line is what gets me every time.
Yeah, that's rich. But yeah, I was going into this episode expecting to give it, no joke, like an 8 maybe. And I know our ratings are just so silly because they're so high. But, you know, our track record, an 8 is really like a 2 out of 4, you know.
We're expecting the episode to at least be an 8. If we love it, it's a 9. And if it's a flawless, you know, top 20, it's a 10, right? That's kind of how we do it.
So I was going to be kind of middle of the road with this episode, but because of my my feelings towards Toby,
your crush on Toby, yes, we know.
Yeah, got a little crush on Toby, and just the killer Michael monologue, the scene with Eric the Clown. This is getting bumped up to a 9 for me, so I'm going to give this 9 pinky toes in a Cracker Jack box out of 10.
You're a monster. And I will be giving this 9 greasy hamburgers out of 10.
Nice. Safe to say it does not Cracker Jack your top 20, right?
Oh, man, you're on fire. You're on fire today.
Oh.
Okay. No, it does not.
Okay.
You?
No, not for me either, but I did really love the episode, and I think it's a very proper send-off for Larry Charles.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on Seincast this week. Please send us an email at seincast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram.
Vinny, what episode are we discussing next week?
We are discussing the 21st episode of Season 5, The Hamptons. And we'll also be discussing what happens to a man when he goes swimming afterwards.
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off. Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.
Well, it could be you.
No.
No, really.
Really? You think so?
Sure.
Boy, wouldn't that be exciting?
I mean, stranger things have happened.
Wow, me, a senior editor. I'd like that.